Fatty liver is now more common than diabetes in India. Alcohol is not the main reason. The real culprit is the carbs, what you eat, rice, roti, Jawar, Ragi, any of these. In this video, I will tell you which carbs heal your liver, which can silently damage. Please subscribe to this educational channel for more digestive health videos. Let us look at carbs and the liver. Carbohydrates themselves don't damage our liver directly. They can damage indirectly through the insulin, the fat production. So when carbs start to spike the blood sugars repeatedly, liver starts to convert this excess of sugar, glucose, into fat. This process is what we call as lipogenesis, which means there is a new production of fat in the liver. This is essentially your liver is converting sugar into fat, and this is where this fatty liver develops. I will start with the most common Indian carb people consume, that's white rice. White rice has high glycemic index, which means it can cause increase in the sugar levels quickly. It has got very little fiber and there is rapid glucose absorption. So consumption of white rice frequently starts to increase the spikes of insulin. This starts to give you that insulin resistance. There are multiple studies that show higher intake of white rice is linked to a variety of issues, including fatty liver disease, that is non-alcohol related, type 2 diabetes. Of course, more rice you take, more calories you gain, and thereby you're putting more weight in the center. So problem comes when the portion size of the rice is large, because a lot of people do not know how to control the portion when they're eating rice, depending on what they're eating it with. If they're consuming, let us say, biryani, pulao, or having some tasty curries with rice, they tend to consume more white rice. If you're someone who is not getting out and doing much in the way of exercise, or if you already have fatty liver, then white rice becomes much more dangerous because it's one of the fastest ways to worsen the liver damage. Secondly, wheat, roti, is it better? Whole wheat contains definitely more fiber. There is slower glucose absorption, better insulin control. So this definitely makes wheat a better choice if you compare like to like directly with white rice as far as liver is concerned. Mistake what people make is just because wheat is better, eating too many rotis, eating wheat in the form of refined flour, maida, and not much protein with the rotis. This can increase the liver fat, especially if the portions are not controlled. Roti is liver friendly only if it is whole wheat. So take out maida completely. Secondly, try not to eat more than 2 rotis in the night. Obviously, if you don't feel full, if you still feel a bit hungry, try and fill with some protein as well as some amount of boiled, steamed, cooked vegetables or salad so that you're not overloading on carbs, especially at night. Thirdly, Jawar. Now we enter the millet zone, starting with Jawar. Jawar is highly insoluble fiber, which means it's not an easily digestible fiber. So it is, however, very good in terms of glycemic index. So the chances of spiking sugar levels is less. It improves the insulin sensitivity. Because of the fiber content, it also helps reduce irritation, inflammation in the gut. For liver, this is better because there is less chance of spikes of insulin that occurs frequently, so thereby less chances of insulin resistance, so there is less fat formation. So in fatty liver, replacing white rice with Jawar often helps with the weight loss, helps improve the deposition of fat in the liver, thereby it is also helping in the improvement of the liver enzymes that are abnormal. So Jawar is one of the best carbs as far as the liver is concerned. One of the most South Indian favorites, especially in the state of Karnataka, is Ragi. Ragi is a fantastic carb, but a lot of people don't understand this finger millet very well. Ragi contains high amount of fiber. It also has calcium, polyphenols. So there is slow release of glucose. This makes Ragi an excellent choice even for people with diabetes, for those people with fatty liver disease, people who have high cholesterol. Problem with Ragi is it is also calorie dense, so eating excess of Ragi balls or Ragi malt can still make you gain weight. Taking in smaller portions is advisable. If you don't like the Ragi ball, you can make it as roti, you can make it as Ragi dosa. So there is kind of different ways you can enjoy Ragi. Again, combine that with a decent amount of protein, adequate amount of vegetables. Ragi is fantastic carbohydrate as far as the liver health is concerned. So in terms of best carbs for the liver, if I have to choose the 2 of the 4, I would suggest going with Jawar and ragi. Then comes whole wheat, roti. The last one is the white rice. But you need to remember, even the best carbohydrate can become dangerous if it is in excess, can of course get stored as fat. So you must strictly control the amount of carbs you're taking. If you already have fatty liver, if you've been diagnosed that you have diabetes or you're in that pre-diabetic state, if you're carrying weight in the center, if you've got high cholesterol, high triglycerides, if you're consuming alcohol, in such people what happens is carbs can directly decide whether the liver irritation, inflammation, the damage gets better or worsen. Liver unfortunately cannot recognize rice, roti, jawar or ragi. It only understands the insulin release, the inflammation, the damage, what happens to it. So choosing the right carbs that have less sugar spikes, complex carbs that has got more fiber, and also consuming smaller portions. If you combine all this with regular exercise, it can heal your liver and can be the best treatment for your fatty liver disease. Thank you, and please subscribe to this educational channel for more science-based videos.